Sometimes the smallest spill changes everything, like that morning in Willow Creek, Wyoming, when Sarah Harlenbach, then just a quiet waitress scraping by as a single mom to my little girl Lily, tripped over a damn rubber mat at Riverside Cafe and dumped a pot of scalding coffee right across Major Robert Kane's crisp Army uniform. Right there in the middle of the breakfast rush, folks' forks freezing midair, phones popping out like it was some viral takedown waiting to happen. I'd been hiding in this dusty corner of Wyoming for 2 years, serving hash and dodging questions, thinking the Rockies and the folks who minded their own would keep my ghosts buried. Squad 4, Iraq 2018. The whole team officially wiped out in a helicopter crash that never made headlines because, hell, we were the kind of shadows the government preferred forgotten. But Kane, this stiff-backed major with ribbons screaming high-stakes ops, he grabs my wrist to yank me close, snarling about disrespect to the uniform, and my sleeve rips clean open, flashing that intricate seal trident tattoo on my arm. The eagle wings spread like a warning, anchor and pitchfork below screaming, "Echo Harlan, survivor of the unspeakable," and his face drains white as he mutters, "Squad 4. You're dead, all of you." His grip going slack like I'd just punched him in the soul. I froze too, heart hammering like it did back in the sandstorms. That old fire flickering under the exhaustion of sleepless nights chasing Lily's school runs and tips that barely covered rent. Because I was Echo once, the point woman who led my squad through hellholes where one wrong call meant body bags. But after that botched up blown cover, friendly fire whispers, brass covering tracks by declaring us KI, faked my way stateside, changed my name, buried the pride under aprons and anonymity, all for a shot at normal with my kid, who deserved playgrounds, not paranoia. Kane's eyes bored into mine, that calculating sweep turning from fury to something like mixed with dread, and he whispers, "Jesus, you're the ghost they've been chasing." While the cafe goes dead quiet, Martha Ellis, the owner, tough as boot leather from her own ranch days, steps up with a towel, murmuring, "Easy now, sir, accidents happen." But he's already piecing it. The classified whispers about Squad 4's resurrection. For black bag jobs on home soil, jobs no one signed up for. I pull my sleeve down, mutter, "Just get back to work." But inside, it's churning 2 years of invisibility cracking like thin ice. Because if Kane's here sniffing around, it's not coincidence, it's Hunt and Willow Creek. This haven I picked for its backwoods vibe and veteran undercurrent suddenly feels like a trap snapping shut. Word spread faster than a prairie fire. By lunch, the whole town's buzzing Sheriff Tom Riley slides in with his coffee black as his mood, eyeing me like he's known all along. Heard the major left in a huff. Left his fancy leather case too. And Ben Carver, the grizzled hardware guy with that 1,000-yard stare from his own tours, nods slow. Folks like us, Sarah, we watch each other's backs. Project Haven's been keeping this town as a reset button for ghosts like you for a decade. Turns out Willow Creek wasn't random. It was one of a dozen spots wired into this underground net for burned ops. Vets killed on paper to dodge reprisals, or worse, brass recycling us for deniable hits stateside. Think rounding up dissidents or silencing leaks, all under some executive shadow order that twisted our oaths into chains. Kane's portfolio? Goldmine of rot. Rosters marking Squad 4 as assets for reactivation. Psych profiles predicting we'd hole up in vet-heavy spots like this, and a note in his scrawl, "Echo Harlan prime candidate knowledge too hot, collect or neutralize." My gut twisted, that old rage bubbling. I'd lost brothers in Iraq for freedom, not to become Uncle Sam's hit squad on American dirt, and now with Lily's face flashing in my mind, her trusting eyes over breakfast pancakes, I knew hiding was done. It was fight or fade forever. FBI rolls in that afternoon. Agent Victor Slade with his slick suit and tablet glow, flashing creds at the cafe door like it's just paperwork, but his eyes lock on me sharp as a blade. "Miss Harlan, routine check on employment docs, irregular SSNs in the area." And I feel it, that predatory glint, him circling like a wolf scenting blood, while Reverend Elias Grant chimes in soft but steel-edged, "Agent. Privacy's a right, not a suggestion, maybe take it official." Slade smirks. All bureaucratic chill. "National security trumps that, Reverend. We've got eyes on anomalies, like a waitress with a Dead Seal's ink." He pulls up my pic on that screen, Lily's school walk too, voice dropping low and venomous. Cooperate, or it gets messy for the kid family's leverage in these matters. Boom, red line crossed. My blood boils, fists clenching like in a firefight, snapping back. Threaten my daughter again, Slade. And you'll learn why Squad 4's ghosts don't stay buried. The room tensing, Ben shifting like he's ready to throw down, Dr. Lena Brooks bursting in with her med bag. She's under my care PTSD flare from your routine bullshit. Move her, and it's on you legally. It's chaos beautiful. Our little net kicking Inovac routes for families. Lily whisked to a ridge camp by old Mrs. Greer. Her World War II nurse tails now a shield while I wrestle the panic. That mom heart screaming to run, but the warrior whispering, hold the line, expose the bastards. Things escalated wild by dusk. Slade's crew in tack gear storming positions, Operation Echo call. They barked over bullhorns. Exit now, or we enter hot, surrounding the cafe. Church, even the school like it was Fallujah Redux. Choppers thumping overhead. But we flipped the script. No guns blazing stupid. Nah. We went media guerrilla. Lena hits emergency bans. Federal raid on Vet Town Live feed. And boom. Channel 7 chopper from Cheyenne dives in early. Lights blazing. Jessica Hale yelling down. Agents. Warrant for what veterans breathing. Slade's face twists. All that fed cool cracking. Radio crackling frantic. Higher. Abort visuals. This is blowing up. While Sheriff Riley plants at the crossroads. Badge out. States watching. Victor warrantless searches on citizens? That's treason territory. And Detective Mia Torres rolls up unmarked. Mike hot. Montana PD, hear your ROEs just went viral. Boys. Inside, my mind's a storm flashbacks to Iraq dust. Brother screams. But now it's for Lily's future. Not some brass agenda, and we document every boot stomp. Every door kick. Feeding it live. Forcing their hand as Kenya. The coffee spiller himself defects full. Piping intel from his lines. They're pulling back congressional heat inbound. Your play worked, Echo. It's hilarity in the horror. Slade snarling into his comms. Damn civilians with cameras. As his teams peel out. Tails between legs. The chopper whirring triumph while Willow Creek holds. Our ragtag ghosts staring down the machine and winning ugly. As the dust settles that night. Stars punching through the Wyoming sky like they approve. We gather in the square Lily back in my arms. Her hug fierce and wordless, Mrs. Greer murmuring. Tough kid, like her ma. And Reverend Grant rings the bell slow. A victory toll mixed with warning. Folks clapping backs. Coffee flowing free at the cafe. But me? I'm hollow victorious, staring at that trident scar, wondering if exposing Project Haven's rot just painted bigger targets on us all. Kane hands me his resignation papers. Gruff. Oh, you that spill. Sarah Brass wanted puppets. We gave him a mirror. And yeah, feds slink out. Op can nationwide. Oversight hearings brewing on that shady order. But as Lily giggles chasing fireflies, I can't shake it. Was this justice, or just kicking the hornet's nest? Communities like ours, vets building quiet Lavesto, we deserve the shadows chasing us. Or is it the system's greed, turning heroes into liabilities cause we know too much? Hell, maybe it's all of it, mired in that American tangle of loyalty and betrayal. Folks, if this hits home, the grind of small-town secrets cracking under big power boots, or just wondering where the lines drawn between protection and persecution, drop your take below. Was Sarah right to fight back, risking it all for that sliver of normal, or should have she faded deeper? Ever seen community beef turn into something bigger? Like HOA tyrants or local grudges masking deeper rot? Share your stories. Hit like if it got your blood up. Subscribe for more real deal tales that make you question the uniform, yours or theirs. What's your ghost? Let's talk. Hey folks, picture this. It's one of those crisp fall mornings in Willow Creek, Idaho, the kind where the fog hangs low over the valley like it's too lazy to lift, and you're just trying to make it through another shift without spilling your guts or your coffee. I'm Ellie Harper, or at least that's what they've been calling me these last couple years, slinging hash at Ruby's Roadhouse, dodging the usual small-town stares from folks who think they know your story, but really don't know jack. That day, though, everything flipped faster than a bad bet at poker, starting with this suit-wearing blowhard who stormed in like he owned the joint, barking orders before his boots even hit the linoleum. See, I'd picked Willow Creek, cause it was the ass end of nowhere. Population 1,200 if you count the deer. Perfect for a gal like me who'd faked her own death twice over once in the sandbox back in 2020, when my Delta Force squad got written off as Kia after a cluster that left me the sole survivor with more ghosts than regrets. Ellie Harper, single mom to little Sophie. 8 years old, and all firecrackers and questions. That's the mask I wore. The one that let me breathe without looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds. Nights tangled in sheets. Whispering apologies to brothers who'd never hear him. Wondering if the quiet was mercy or just another cage. But that morning, as the bell jingled and in walks Colonel Jack Harlan, all spitshine uniform and ribbons that screamed, "I've seen some shit." I felt that old itch, the one that says trouble's knocking and it's got your name on it, carved deep like the arrowhead tat hidden under my sleeve. I pour his coffee black, no chit-chat, strong enough to strip paint, but my hands. Damn, they're shaking from another night chasing shadows in my head. Dreams where the sand's still gritty and my team's voices echo like they're right there, laughing at some dumb joke before it all went south, before the blast that stole M and left me piecing together a life from shrapnel and silence. Foot catches the mat, that worn rubber strip Ruby swears she'll replace someday. Pot tips, and splush, Hot Joe all over his chest, soaking those metals like they're cheap tin from a flea market. The place goes dead quiet, forks hovering midair, eyes wide as saucers, and Harlan's up like a shot, face redder than the ketchup bottles lining the counter, grabbing my wrist hard enough to bruise, yanking me close with this snarl that hits like a gut punch from an old drill sergeant. "You clumsy bitch, do you have any idea what this uniform means? 28 years bleeding for flag and country, and some waitress thinks she can ruin it without consequence. You owe me respect, or I'll make sure you learn it the hard way." His breath's hot, reeking of mints, masking last night's bourbon, eyes boring into mine like he's seeing right through the facade to the operator I buried. And I'm frozen there, heart hammering against my ribs. Because yeah, I know exactly what that uniform costs. Hell, I bled for one just like it. Lost brothers who deserved parades, not plots. Traded my fire for fryers to keep Sophie from the fallout. But his grip's stirring it all up, that buried rage flickering like embers under ash. The locals are shifting, uncomfortable. Old Mr. Tate at the end booth palming his phone subtle-like, capturing the meltdown cause in Willow Creek. Drama's free entertainment, but secrets? They pay dividends. I stammer something about napkins and dry cleaning, voice small as a whisper in a hurricane, but inside it's churning shame for the slip, fury at his holier-than-thou, and this deep, aching pull to snap back, to remind him that respect ain't demanded. It's earned in the dirt where metals don't shine. But then my sleeve rips, cheap fabric from too many washes, too many double shifts scraping by on tips and pride, and there's my forearm, bare as the day I got inked in some back alley parlor in Kandahar, that Delta Force arrowhead staring up at us. Eagle wings spread wide, like it's ready to fly. The scroll below reading Squad 4, Syria 2020, in stark black script that no amount of cover-up can erase. Harlan's grip goes slack. Fingers trembling now, his fury cracking like thin ice under boot, eyes widening as he traces the lines, whispering hoarse. Squad 4. The whole team's ghosts, vaporized in that ambush. Reports said no survivors, black bags for all. And just like that, the diner's a powder keg lit from both ends, locals leaning in slow, breaths held, because Willow Creek's got its secrets, turns out, buried deeper than mine. Folks who've nodded at my hard luck story, now seeing the truth etched in skin. Ruby, the owner with her apron stained like a roadmap of regrets and her laugh like warm gravel, steps up soft like, dish towel twisted in her fists. "Colonel, easy now. Ellie's one of us. Accidents happen in greasy spoons like this. But that ink? That's a story worth hearing before you go nuclear on a mom just trying to pour a decent cup." Harlan backs off a step, pale as skim milk, uniform dripping like his certainty, muttering, "Jesus H, your Echo Harper," like it's a curse and a prayer rolled into one, the name that Special Ops whispers around campfires late at night. The operator who pulled off extractions that never made the books, who vanished after Syria like smoke on the wind. I tug my sleeve down quick, pulse still racing wild, but inside it's this storm, part shame for the spill that cracked my shell, part rage at the reminder that dead ain't as final as the brass sells it to grieving kin, and part this weird, aching relief, like finally exhaling after holding your breath for 2 years straight, lungs burning from the lie. He slides a 50 across the scarred oak counter, voice low and rough around the edges, like he's swallowing glass, for the dry clean. And for pulling my sorry ass out of that crossfire in Damascus. Even if I didn't clock it was you under that balaclava back, then owed you one. Echo, guess we're square now. He leaves, boots echoing heavy on the boards, but not before that look over his shoulder, the one that says he's piecing together why a ghost like me washed up in a nowhere spot like Willow Creek. And folks, that's when the whispers start, rippling out like smoke from Ruby's overworked grill. Did you see that tat? Ellie's no down on her luck divorcee. She's a damn legend walked in off the wire. By lunch, half the town's buzzing old-timers at the counter trading nods with the vets who prop up the VFW bar. Eyes on me now, like I'm the puzzle they've been missing pieces for, and me? I'm in the back, scrubbing counters that shine already, mind a whirlwind of what-ifs, Sophie's gap-toothed grin flashing as she waves from the school bus that morning. Innocent as fresh snow, while my past claws its way back like weeds through concrete. Sheriff Tom Riley ambles in around 1, belly straining his belt like it's got a grudge, coffee mug extended like it's his constitutional right, settling on his stool with a creak that matches the floorboards. Heard Harlan made a scene like a bull in a china shop. Ellie something about coffee and coffins? Town's got ears sharper than my ex's tongue, and yours just perked up a few notches. I play it cool, wiping the same spot for the 10th time, steam from the pot curling like my nerves. But inside I'm churning butter to ghee, because Riley's no fool, ex-Marine with scars snaking up his forearms from Fallujah, and his questions ain't casual chit-chat. That colonel's been sniffing around Willow Creek for weeks now, asking about new folks drifting in. Vets drawing benefits under names that don't quite match their DLs. You know anything about that? Or should I start digging myself? It's like a cold finger tracing down my spine, slow and deliberate. Realizing my hideout wasn't random luck from a thumbtack on a map, that maybe someone upstairs or way down in the shadows steered me here for reasons that smell like a setup, like bait in a trap sprung too soon. Then Eddie Grant pushes through the door, hardware guy with hands like weathered oak and eyes that stared down barrels in places that don't show on globes, clapping my shoulder gentle but firm, like he's grounding a live wire. Ma'am, if shadows are knocking louder than a jackhammer, we've got backs in this town, folks who've danced that ghost waltz a time or two, know the steps when the music turns me. Turns out Willow Creek's laced through with this underground quilt of relos from Black Ops gone sideways. Stitched together quiet under something they call Project Haven, a shadow program that plants dead soldiers in spots like this to keep the wolves from the door, or maybe to fatten them up for the kill. Pastor's Ben Caldwell joins the huddle uninvited, Bible thumping soft on the counter like it's punctuation, his voice a rumble of Sunday sermons mixed with Monday briefings. Ellie, your file crossed my desk 6 months back, flagged Hot X Delta. Kia cover for an op that left loose ends with teeth sharp enough to bite back. We prepped for you here, cause havens like ours. They're for keeping the fire from spreading to the dry grass, for giving folks like us a breath before the wind shifts. My head's spinning slow now, this mix of betrayal biting deep like, who the hell greenlit my disappearance into a fishbowl? And this unexpected belonging, warm as Ruby's stew on a frost night, like I walked into a family reunion I didn't RSVP for, but damn if it don't fit. And now the colonel's portfolio, yeah, he forgot it wedged in the booth seat, leather worn like his conscience is staring at me from the counter like Pandora's lunchbox, brass clasp winking under the lights. I crack it open in the back room. Hands steady now, 'cause old habits die screaming, not whispering, and bam, pages spill secrets. Rosters with my name crossed in red like a bad grade. Psych evals guessing I'd hole up in vet-heavy burgs like Willow Creek to lick wounds and blend. Briefs on rounding up assets for home soil hits that'd make your stomach turn inside out. Ops where ghosts like us ghost our own without warrants or a whisper to Congress. All cause some desk jockeys decided our silence is national security gold. Harlan wasn't hunting strays out of boredom. He was the hound on a leash, ambitious as hell, clawing for that next star by corralling us assets back into the fold. Old grudge from Damascus fueling the fire, me saving his hide meant he owed me. But owing? That's a debt some men repay with bullets, not thanks. Eddie leans in close, breath minty from his dip, voice gravel over glass. They're turning sanctuary into a stockyard, Ellie us as the cattle, prodded for deniable jobs that'd shame a mercenary. And Dr. Lena Voss bursts through the kitchen door then, white coat flapping like surrender flags, face tight as a drum. Feds just rolled into the Pines Motel down the road, 3 suits with badges that don't scan right in any database I can hack, poking at employment rolls, benefits claims, anyone off the grid like you or me. That's when it hits me square, this gut-deep fear twisting like a knife for Sophie at school 3 blocks over, her little braids swinging carefree as she waves goodbye that morning from the porch, oblivious to the noose tightening slow around our necks. Her questions about why mommy's sad sometimes suddenly feeling like prophecies I can't outrun. The air in Ruby's thickens, tension coiling like smoke from a shorted wire, and they come not subtle. These feds, Agent Kyle Ramsey leading the pack, slick as spilled oil on pavement, eyes like a hawk spotting a mouse in the stubble. Pushing through the bell with a jingle that mocks the calm. He flashes the badge under the fluorescence, gold glinting mean, voice smooth as a con but edged with steel. MS. Harper, routine check on your paperwork socials. Hires, the boring stuff, but let's cut the 2-step. We know Echo's not buried under Syrian rubble, and Uncle Sam's calling in markers for family business that don't take no for an answer. His smile's all teeth, no warmth, like a wolf grinning before the lunge, and when I stonewall him with a shrug and a papers are in order, agent, check with Ruby. He flips open his tablet casual, Sophie's school pic glowing blue in the dim, her gap-toothed grin frozen mid-laugh. Cute kid you've got there, be a shame if complications kept her from recess tomorrow, or worse, if she had to explain mommy's sudden trip to some aunt she don't know. That's the line, folks, the one that snaps something primal inside, rage boiling up like bad coffee left too long on the burner, me leaning in close over the counter. Voice dropping to that low growl I honed in ops where words cut deeper than knives. Touch my girl, Ramsey, and I'll show you why they called me Echo in the field, 'cause I come back louder every time you try to silence me. And trust, your badge won't muffle the scream. He chuckles then, low and mean, like he's heard threats from bigger fish, but his eyes flickered just a hair, that micro-tell of a man who's read the file and knows the stats, the extractions, the ghosts I left behind. The diner's frozen again, Ruby's hand twitching toward the phone under the register. Eddie easing toward the back like he's fetching stock, but really palming his sidearm. And Pastor Ben's murmuring something biblical that sounds suspiciously like a prayer for plagues on firstborn feds. But Willow Creek don't fold easy under pressure. No sir. Ruby flips the sign to closed with a decisive click, locks rattling home. And it's us against the storm brewing outside, fog pressing the windows like curious ghosts. Eddie rigs the blinds quick and quiet, slats angled for eyes only. Pastor Ben murmuring prayers that sound like ops briefings from his army chaplain days. Lena prepping her med kit on the prep table like it's a go bag for Hell Week. Riley's on the horn to state troopers from his cruiser parked caddy corner, voice steady as granite. Feds overstepping bad in my county. Tom Riley speaking, get eyes and badges here before this turns from chat to shooting gallery. And Harlan? He calls it in from his dusty truck idling across the street. Voice cracking over the line, he patched through some back-channel frequency. Stand down, Ramsey. Echo's under my liaison now. And this ops DOA, if it hits the wires you want a court-martial sideshow, keep pushing. The air's thick, electric with that pre-storm hum. My mind racing through contingencies like a flipbook of nightmares, Sophie's face flashing bright. The weight of Squad 4's ghosts urging me on with silent nods. This town that's more home than I've let myself admit, suddenly feeling like the hill I'd die on, gladly, if it kept her safe. Night falls heavy as a hangover. Fog thicker now, swallowing streetlights whole. And they come black SUVs crawling main like wolves on the prowl. Lights off, but engines growling low. Ramsey's bullhorn barking sharp through the mist. FBI. Exit with hands up. Single file warrants for threats to the homeland. Noncompliance is felony territory. It's straight cinematic, shadows stretching long under the few lamps that punch through. My heart thundering steady as I slip out the back with Eddie, vest snug under my hoodie, radio crackling soft in my ear. Position set along the ridge, no shots unless they force it. We document every boot print, every barked order. We broadcast till they choke on their own spotlight. Make the world see what security really costs. Lena's live already on emergency bands, feeding chords and color to Billings news like it's yesterday's weather. Military raid unfolding on vets in rural Idaho. Get choppers and crews here yesterday. This ain't a drill. It's Uncle Sam turning hounds on his own hounds. And sure enough, come false dawn when the fog thins just enough to tease, chopper blades slice through like judgment. Jessica Hale's voice booming from the sky, amplified fierce. Channel 7 live from Willow Creek feds storming a roadside diner in tactical gear. Locals dug in like it's Fallujah Redux. This ain't a traffic stop. Folks, it's Uncle Sam hunting his own heroes with helicopters and heat. Ramsey's team breaches Ruby's front then, glass shattering like brittle lies under boot, shards skittering across linoleum where I poured Harlan's doom that morning. Their tack lights sweeping empty booths, cause we ghosted hours back, perched on rooftops and behind blinds with phones rolling red. Riley's cruiser blocking the road dead center, badge out gleaming wet, state line drawn here. Agent Ramsey show me that warrant in full, or this is unlawful assembly. Trespass with intent to intimidate. Tension's a live wire now, humming vicious. Ramsey snarling over the open wire, voice tinny with rage. Sheriff, step your hick ass aside or you're accessory to treason. These ghosts know too much about the machine. Time to reel 'em in before they bite the hand. But the chopper circles relentless, its belly light hot as accusation. Hale's feed going viral faster than gossip at a funeral. Her words painting pictures sharper than any drone strike. Viewers at home, we're seeing armored feds in a ghost town standoff, veterans refusing to budge, claiming constitutional foul on the whole damn play, and local badges calling bluff. That's the crack in the dam. The moment higher-ups in some beltway bunker start sweating through their suits, Harlan's voice cutting through the static like a lifeline tossed. Abort homeward bound. All units media's lit the fuse proper. DC's sweating oversight hearings and viral hell already. Pull back or kiss your pensions goodbye. They hesitate, boots shuffling in the debris. Ramsey's face twisting sour as he barks the retreat, taillights fading into the fog like bad dreams dissolving at first light, leaving behind the echo of rotors and the sharp tang of cordite that wasn't fired. Willow Creek exhales then, ragged and real. Cheers muffled at first like they're testing the air, then roaring ragged from the square, where families trickle back from the woods, hidden hollows. Eddie scouted years back for just this kind of storm. Sophie's arms flinging around my neck fierce, her whisper hot against my ear. Mommy, did the monsters lose? Mrs. Voss said you were being brave like in your stories. I hold her tight, throat burning raw, whispering back soft as a promise. Yeah, baby girl. We made 'em run tails tucked, but bravery's just scared folks holding the line for the ones who can't. Ruby's pouring free rounds in mismatched mugs, Eddie cracking wise over the cleanup with a broom handle like a swagger stick. Next time, Harlan, bring donuts for the feds might sweeten the standoff, and Pastor Ben's toasting quiet with his flask disguised as holy water. To havens that hold when the wind howls meanest. But as the dust settles slow, medics like Lena patching scrapes and soles in her clinic. Harlan sticks around, resigns his stars over coffee gone cold at my counter. Uniform folded neat like a truce flag. Ellie, I was blind as a bat in that Damascus dust chasing phantoms for a machine that eats its own to feed the beast. Now, I'm planting roots here, teaching the kids what real duty looks like, not this shadow puppet show. Riley nods slow, filing reports that'll hit Congress like buckshot from a scattergun, murmuring this'll stir the pot, but damn if it ain't time someone did. We gather at town hall that evening, fog lifting reluctant to reveal stars pricking sharp, and declare Willow Creek a freedom holdout proper, banners flapping defiant in the chill breeze, voices rising in a chorus that's half hymn, half howl. No more ghosts for the grindstone, this ground's ours, Constitution and all. Yet deep down, as I tuck Sophie in that night, her questions trailing soft into snores, Mommy, why do grown-ups fight over secrets? I can't shake the teeth in this victory, sweet as stolen pie, but laced with what-ifs that gnaw quiet. Was Harlan's hunt just blind ambition, a colonel clawing for that next star by corralling us assets like stray cattle, Or something uglier, like old squad beefs bubbling up from Syria. Me pulling him from fire he never forgave, turned resentment into a personal crusade masked as duty. The fog lifts full by morning, revealing scars on the hills we call home, burned out husks from last summer's fire. Reminders that flames come back meaner if you don't tend the ashes, and as stars fade slow. Sophie's laughter cuts the dawn chill from the porch swing, reminding me sharp why we fight dirty when the line's drawn at family. Not for glory or grudges, but for mornings without monsters scratching at the door. Folks, that's the tale that rewired me from the inside out. From ghost haunting my own hide to guardian of a gulch that chose to stand tall, turned Willow Creek from whisper to wildfire, and me from Ellie to echo again. Echoes that don't fade easy. But tell me true in the comments below, 'cause this one's got me chewing still. When does loyalty to country cross that ragged line into betrayal of its beating heart? The folks it swore to shield? Would you spill blood for your block against the badge, or fold quiet for the promise of peace, even if it's bought with blinders? Hell, has your own town got shadows like ours? HOAs pulling strings, or neighbors nursing knives over fence lines and old scores? Drop your stories, your takes on where justice bends or breaks in the small print of community share if it hit home raw. 'Cause voices like yours, they're the next echo we need. And hey, if this yarn yanked at your roots, smash that subscribe button. Gentle got more real talk reckonings stacking up. Tales from the trenches of everyday wars. 'Cause stories like this, they don't end tidy, they echo long after the fog rolls out.